Hi, I'm Rich Torrey. Welcome to another Level Up Cartooning. All you need to follow along with me is a pencil and paper. It doesn't get any easier than that, right? So last week we started dipping into the work of the incomparable Tex Avery, one of the genius animators of the golden years of animation. As I said last week, if you're not familiar with him, I highly recommend looking up his work. It's all over the internet. Last week we drew the big bad wolf from one of Avery's masterpieces, Swing Shift Cinderella. We're going to kind of build on that lesson this week, as we'll be drawing another one of Tex Avery's wolves, of which there are many. But this time we're going to draw the wolf in one of Avery's classic exaggerated poses. It's going to be from the equally classic cartoon short Northwest Hounded Police. We're also going to be drawing the star of that cartoon and one of Avery's most recognizable characters, Droopy, who in this cartoon is a member of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, or a Mountie, who is trying to capture the wolf, who's an escaped prisoner. If you're familiar with Droopy, then you know his facial expression and his emotion in general never changes. He's got that very deadpan look. Unlike the wolf in this cartoon, whose face seems to go through ever increasingly exaggerated looks of surprise as the plot unfolds. Anyway, before we get started, make sure you hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button, as it helps this channel to grow, and hit the bell so you never miss a lesson. Alright then, let's draw Droopy and the wolf from the Tex Avery masterpiece, Northwest Hounded Police. We're going to draw Droopy and our wolf step by step, giving you the secret formula to be able to draw them again and again. If you watch any of my other videos, you know I normally use the character's head to figure out how big the entire character is. In this drawing, little Droopy is 2 heads tall. In other words, however tall his droopy head is, his entire body is 2 of those. Our wolf is 4 heads tall. In other words, however tall the wolf's head is, not counting his tall ears, his entire body is 4 of those. That's 1 head shorter than last week's wolf, if you recall, which was 5 heads tall. The reason for this is the pose that the wolf is in, which in this case is more crouched. I also want to point out that we have a very pronounced line of action with this wolf, which really helps accentuate his surprised look. I want you to pay attention to that as we lay out our characters. Okay, so let's draw in the roadmap for Droopy and the wolf from Tex Avery's Northwest Hounded Police. So there's our roadmap for Droopy and our escaped prisoner wolf. Now before we go on to step 2, I want to give you the layout of our 2 characters' bodies using simple shapes for those of you who want a screen grab. Again, just something to help you envision how to lay out your drawing. So now we're on to step 2. In this step we do what I call roughing out the features. I want to remind you that until the 3rd and final step, you need to be drawing as light as possible. You'll see that I use guidelines to help me to know where to put Droopy's and Wolfie's eyes, snouts, mouths, among other things. We don't want those guidelines in the final drawing, so we want to be drawing them light enough to be able to erase them easily. Okay, so let's rough out the features for our Droopy and our escaped prisoner wolf. Okay, so there are the roughed out features for Droopy and our wolf. So now with the roadmap done and the features roughed out, it's time for that final step. In step 3, we get to have fun. We get to draw in the final details of our 2 characters from Northwest Hounded Police. We don't have to guess where to put things because we've already done all the hard work figuring that out. As I often say, I want you to be present. And what I mean by that is you don't want to just mindlessly retrace over the lines you've already drawn. As you're drawing the final line, you want to be thinking about how you might improve it, staying vigilant until the very end. Alright, so let's draw in the details for Droopy and our wolf from Tex Avery's Northwest Hounded Police. And that's how you do it. There you have it. From another Tex Avery animated masterpiece, Northwest Hounded Police, Droopy and the Escaped Prisoner Wolf. So how do you think you did? Understand, if you've never drawn Droopy or that wolf before, or any character in such an exaggerated pose such as this, then you can't expect to have drawn them perfectly. You notice I don't spend time coloring Droopy or our wolf during this video because I want my lesson to focus solely on the drawing process. Now you have the secret formula, the process for drawing Droopy and the big bad escaped prisoner wolf. And with that, you can draw them again and again. By all means, color them when you're done. I promise each time you draw them, it'll be a little better and a little easier. I also promise the more you work with me, the better you're going to get at all of your cartoon characters. So I'd love to see your drawing of Tex Avery's Droopy and the wildly expressive wolf. If you can, take a picture and post it on either Facebook or Instagram, and don't forget to include the hashtag #LevelUpCartooning. I hope you had as much fun as I did with this one. Remember to subscribe, and thanks for joining me. Until next time, keep drawing, my friends.